guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've loaded any videos, but today hopefully I have a good one for you and that you all like it. Now, I have been away for a few weeks. My daughter got married and my mom had to have surgery, so I had to take time away to take care of them. Now, there are a couple things that I wanted to touch on, and one of those is we are completely overwhelmed by all the support and questions that we had in our crochet hook video. I am planning to do a new video for those, hopefully share some new techniques, get some questions answered, and there's a new tool that I have that I want to share with you guys on that as well. Also, we're almost to 100 subscribers. Now, I know that sounds small, but for us, that is a huge milestone on our way to our goals, and we want to celebrate that with you guys. So we're going to do a giveaway for when we hit 100 subscribers. So leave comments below in this video on if you want to see us give away a finished product like a keychain, or if you would rather us give away some glitter for any of the makers out there. We'll be looking through those comments below and we'll get an idea of what you guys would really like to get. If any of you are in any of the Facebook groups that deal with the Cricut or the Silhouette, any type of vinyl decals, then you've probably heard of the Spiral Betty site. We're going to go over that, and I'm also going to show you how I incorporated that into this painting for my daughter. So without anything further, let's get started. Don't forget to visit us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I've had this for about a month and I hadn't opened it because I haven't had a table big enough to put it on yet. So we had to custom build a table. And now that we have that done, I have time to get this unboxed.
Now you got it.
My cat's already looking to see what I'm doing.
He's already nosing.
Are you guys having a good week so far? I know there's only a few of you on. So this comes with, it's just letting you know where you can go to download to get everything set up.
Fluffy. Fluffy's already.
The bit is being nosy. You probably see him over there in my box. Hi, Norma. So these look like the roll holder. These here look like the roll holder parts. And the 2-part electrical cord. And then there's this other piece in here. I think that's part of the roll holder as well. And because I'm short and my table is tall, I'm going to try to pull it out this way. Here's the mat. about as big as I am. And I'm just going to lay that under my table for now. Thanks for kidding, Michael. Yeah, you're right. That's probably his paddle. It seems like it's about 3 feet long. I don't think it's far from it.
Here comes Nosy. It's not working. He's after that tape you put over.
Probably.
Look, he's already eyeballing it. I better get that. And this. What a tiggy. Here. Hey. Psst. Here.
Hey, get out of the way.
Look at that. Hey, big old loggerhead.
Hey, come in to say hi.
Loggerhead.
It does seem to be packaged really good, so that's a good sign. There's little tabs everywhere telling you what pieces come off. I lost that one.
Ooh. You lost that one too. Good job, babe. No, here, kitty, kitty. Oh, he'll be over here. Come on.
I'll get that piece off
Look,
later.
Here he comes.
So the 4
Get some more tape.
Pro is just like the other 4s. The lid doesn't lift up like the 3. It just slides back in and comes out the back. Hey, get out of the way. And then there's quite a bit of tape on the inside keeping the carrier in place.
My job is failing. He doesn't listen very well.
Bit loves my cutting machines. He has to be right with me every time I cut.
Kind of reminds me of a child. Yeah, you.
Get down. Yeah, I know. So I can already tell a difference in the bar here that holds your mat or your vinyl in place. It's not a round bar, it's a more like a rectangular bar, and it has these little sliders in here instead. And then the bar in the back that the carrier is on is also different. It's not on a round bar either. It's more of an inset bar that it slides on. More tape in the back, and the back has the cross cut bar where you can lower it. You can feed your vinyl out the back, lower it, and then there's a slider that you can use to slide across and cut your vinyl straight. So it does have that. It's a little bit different than the 3, but it does the same, it has the same purpose. And it does have good rubber feet on the bottom, preventing me from sliding it around very well.
Comments, concerns?
It's got all your manuals here. Alright, so it comes with an auto blade, and then it comes with the tool that you use to take the bottom of the auto blade off, and it'll just unscrew so you can get to the blade and pull out any vinyl or excess trash you have in there. I'm not going to admit how long it was before I actually knew that that's what this was for. And then it also comes with a carrier for if you want to use the pins or other tools. You just snap this around it to fit it into the carrier here. So this is like an adapter. And then the auto blade and the tool for it. Oh, there we go. Just going to put those in there, and I'm going to keep the auto blade out. Then you have the 2-piece plug-in cord. This part plugs into the machine, and then this hooks here and plugs into the wall. And then what is left here is all pieces for the roll holder. Now your other Cameo cords also have a roll holder, but this one is a little bit different. And it also comes with the USB cord. If you're not going to use it Wi-Fi, you can use it that way. Now, the cool thing about the roll holder is that, I can figure it out, they nest in with each other so that when you're not using it, it's not taking up a lot of space. So you just have this small section here, and then this is small enough that you can slide it in about anywhere. Now the auto blade goes into carrier number 1. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in there. You just have to make sure that it's pushed all the way down and that you push your tab all the way in. And then I'm going to try to show you how this roll holder goes under. If you can see, it's like a little indentation. What are you doing?
Catfishing.
There's an indentation here where these pieces go in. Alright, now these two here are free floating, and the two on the ends will be stationary, and they just slide up under, so you can put them in place. If I can see. Pulled out, so they're in there good. Now these two can slide back and forth to adjust to wherever your roll is, whether you're doing like a 15-inch roll or you're doing a 12-inch roll, or you can open it all the way up and do the 24-inch roll. And then this piece locks everything into place. You just have to get it all lined up. So it locks it into place so that everything's not going to move around for you. And then I'm going to take this out so you can see these rollers. So your roll is actually going to roll on the rollers here. Everything adjusts so that you have the different sizes for different roll sizes. And then you just tighten it back down. And I actually have, this is a 24-inch roll, at least I believe it is. But whenever you put a roll in, you'll set it down onto the rollers, and it'll roll back and forth on the rollers as you cut the vinyl. So as it pulls it in, it'll roll out, and then as it pushes it back in, it'll roll back in. Alright, so to get started, we're going to go to a search engine, your search engine of choice, and we're going to go to Spiral Betty. We'll search that and then click on their website. And then you'll see you'll have three options over on the right hand side. You'll upload an image or try one of theirs. and then you're gonna alter your image however you like, and then you'll make sure that it's final edited and then download it. And I apologize, this screen recording doesn't show any drop down boxes or anything like that. If you guys know of any screen recordings that work better, please let me know. So I've chosen the picture here of my daughter, and it was her boyfriend at the time. They are now happily married. And you can upload your picture and then adjust it however you like. You can zoom in, you can move the picture around, just get it to where you like it, and then check that little check mark. And then it spirals it. It is so awesome. Now you can print these images out just like this, but for our purposes, we're going to cut it out in a decal, and we're going to walk you through that. But you can still edit this in so many different ways with the little options down there at the bottom and the slider bar. You also have so many color options over on the right hand side that you could do almost any color combo possible, but we're going to stick with the black and white. And then you're going to use the little download button to download it to your computer. Now, this is free for personal use. I do suggest giving a donation where it says buy Betty a coffee. And if you want to sell your creations, you do need to contact them at this email address. Do not steal this technique and sell it and you haven't paid for commercial use. I'm sure it's not that much. Alright, now we're going to upload this into the Silhouette Studio. I do have Business Edition. And like I said, it doesn't show me picking my pictures on the screen recording, and I'm not sure why. But I've opened my picture, and then I'm going to go over to this. It looks like a butterfly to me, the icon. It's for like tracing. So I do trace by color, and I've selected the black. And then I'm just fine-tuning it. And again, you can't see the little options box, but that's what I'm doing over there with my cursor that looks like it's out in space. And then once you have it adjusted to where you want, you just hit trace and you'll have this. You can just delete the picture and just keep these outlines and then turn it black or whatever color you like, just so that it helps you see what you're actually working with. And then after that, I'm going to adjust the size. I decided for the project that I'm working on to adjust it down to, I believe, around 11 inches. I'm pretty sure I take it smaller than this, actually. So somewhere around 11 inches. Now, you can go as big or as small as you want. Just keep in mind that the smaller you go, the more detail, fine detail, your cutter's going to have to cut. And once I change that size, we're going to get it ready to send over to be cut. I did try to keep in mind what it was that I was putting this on, how I was going to create around the image, just so that everything worked well with the project that I was working on. Now we're going to go over to send. Alright, now that we have hit send, you'll see your preview on the left and all of your options on the right. I do tend to use that fill tab to select all of my options. You're going to have multiple options here. You're going to have the material that you're cutting to choose from. You're going to have what it is that you're actually doing, whether it's cutting or doing rhinestone, whatever it is that you're doing. And then you're going to have the type of blade that you're using to choose. And you will also need to set your settings for how you're cutting if it's not preset already. And then choose the machine. And then it tells you when it's ready. And then you can start cutting by hitting send once everything is ready. And you'll see it turn green and it says ready. And then it'll say cutting, and you know that your project is underway. Alright, this is the Cameo 4 Pro cutting. It is sped up quite a bit. That spiral did take quite a while to cut, but it is so worth it. And now that we are done cutting, we're just going to unload that and take a look at our spiral. I did use a regular 12 by 12 mat that I use. I believe they're the Cricut ones, from the Paper Studio ones for Cricut from Hobby Lobby. But they work just the same with a Silhouette Cameo 3, and you just saw me use it in the Cameo 4 Pro. So just flip that mat over, pull the mat off of the vinyl, not the other way around. That'll keep your vinyl nice and flat for you, and you won't have any issues with it curling up. I wished I had known that when I first started, because I always fight my vinyl. Or I would always fight my vinyl when I was doing projects when I first started, because I didn't realize you should flip that mat over to take it off of the vinyl. Now we're going to weed this beautiful spiral picture and watch the magic happen. Watching this picture reveal itself is just so awesome. I was in doubt that it would even work until I done it for myself. You know, you always see things, you're like, no, that's not gonna work. And then you do it for yourself and it works beautifully. Yeah, that's how this was. Those last couple spirals, they're good. That is Alyssa and Josh. Their first musical together in high school. They are high school sweethearts, and they have been married almost 2 months. Now I have this large, I believe it is a 17 by 20 canvas, the flat canvas boards. Do not quote me on that. I will link them down below once I get done with this video so that you'll know exactly the size. And some apple barrel black. We are going to paint this entire canvas black to begin with. I know you probably think I'm crazy. What are you thinking, Melissa? But trust me. Trust in the process. It will all work out in the end. And I did speed this up. There's no sense in watching me do this in real time. We're just painting the whole canvas black. I did let this dry, and I did put a second coat on it. Now we're going to take this transfer tape and we're going to transfer that spiral image over onto that black canvas. That is a lot easier said than done, because trust me when I say that that image did not want to stick to the canvas. And you'll see in just a moment that I fought that thing getting the transfer tape off. You could probably stick the transfer tape to your clothes a few times. This transfer tape is not a heavy duty transfer tape at all, but it just, the vinyl did not want to hold on to that painted canvas. And next time I will probably try to figure out a different way to do this. But it worked out in the end, and that's all that matters. So now I decided to show you my troubles of getting that transfer tape off. It did come off. I did have to have patience to get it off, but it did come off in the end. Thankfully, all worked out well. Now, I will say that with this next step, I will do it differently if I ever do another one. We're going to use apple barrel lime sorbet or sherbet. I'm not sure which one it said. And then this is pool blue. And we're also going to use this, I think it's pastel orange, tropic orange. I'm going to use tropic orange and then light pink. These are all apple barrel paints. I think they're 50 cents a bottle at Walmart or somewhere close to that. And then lilac mist for the purple. We are going to use all of those colors on this canvas. I did not record the first one because you didn't really need to see all of that. And I'm not going to show you every single color this go around. Basically put the first layer on there to kind of map out where you want the colors, and then go in with a second coat, and then do your best to blend the colors together where they meet. Some colors are, depending on what you pick, may not blend as well as others. Just do the best that you can, especially around the outside if you do a project similar to this. But where the colors are in the spiral, you don't have to be as careful there as far as blending, because the spiral is going to break up the colors anyways. So I'm just going to blend these colors in. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfect, because it's just a background. These are some of Alyssa's favorite colors, the purple especially. I also picked some colors off of a 50s color palette, because their musical was a 50s theme musical. So I did try to just pick some colors from a color palette that I saw out of the 50s, and I went with those. We're just going to blend that blue and purple together, and then I'm going to try to blend that orange and purple and the blue and orange together and attempt it to not look muddy. The pink and green and the pink and blue were really easy to blend in together. The others were not as easy. One tip I do have for you is try not to overwork your colors. Sometimes we get sidetracked by just working on one color, and it's really good and blended, but because we've been looking at it for so long and working it for so long, it doesn't really look to us like it's blended in really good. So just take a moment, sometimes walk away, come back, look at it later, and go from there. That just may help you when you're trying to blend your paint colors. Also, whenever you're doing this second layer to your paint, you can change up what colors you're putting where or how much room you're using. Just do it whatever looks good and feels good to you. That's what you want to do. Now we've got this all painted, it's dried, and we're going to be taking that decal off. Just be very careful getting that started that you don't chip off any of your paint or scratch any of your paint. And you're just going to pull that up off of the canvas. Now, what I should have done, and please take this advice, it will save you hours of heartache and hard work. When you put that decal on, if you do anything similar to this, paint over the decal whatever your base color is. I know this, I've done this many times. I did not do this for this, and I regret it because it was a pain to fix. Now I'm showing you that I had to use 2 small paintbrushes and black paint to go in and fix it. But if you were to put that decal down, base paint that black in this instance, and then paint your colors on, it would have looked a lot better, and I probably wouldn't have had to touch up the black as much as I did. So if I could give you any bit of advice at all, that would be what it would be for this particular project. So now I'm having to go in with really small paintbrushes and touch up all the paint bleeds, because I didn't do what I do for all my other painting projects on wood signs and everything else. You could also put down a layer of Mod Podge over that decal and then paint. But now we're going to cut a stencil for the words that we're going to add to this painting. And this 24 by 24 inch mat gave me a bit of difficulty trying to hold it and push the load button at the same time. The Cameo 4 Pro does have a feature where you do not have to have the mat ready to load. You can push the load button and you have a short period of time to get the mat up there to be loaded, and that's what I should have done. But I got the decals cut out on the Cameo 4, and now we're going to reverse weed, I guess is what you would call it. Basically, you're going to take out what you would normally keep and use the stencil to put the words onto the canvas. So we're going to remove the letters and keep the outline. And I put the year that they were married, this year. And then I put Mr. and Mrs. Clark. And then we're going to put this onto the painting. And we're going to paint that so that when we remove it, the words are left on the canvas. And just something really simple. It wasn't anything real fancy. You do want to measure whenever you're putting stencils onto a project to make sure that your words are even on either side of your image. If you have like an image in the middle like this, and you'll see me measure 500,000 times before I actually put it down. I think I'm OCD about it. It has to be perfect before I'll actually stick it down really good. And then you'll do the same with both sides and on the top. Measure a dozen times before you actually put it down permanently and start painting. But it was really easy to line up and get even and level because there were a lot of measuring points on these particular words and sayings, so we were good there. Then I would just pull off that transfer tape, and I did have a lot of excess vinyl at the top, so I decided to just go ahead and cut that even with the canvas there, just so that it was out of my way while I stamped on the paint. I am going to use that same Apple Barrel Black paint. This is all the paint that I used for this particular project is acrylic paint. And so we're just going to use a little dauber sponge. I got those in a huge pack at Walmart. And then some paint. Another tip that I'll give for painting projects, if you use vinyl as stencils or any other part of your project, if you keep the backing paper, you can put your paint on that and then just toss it if you don't have a reusable paint palette to use. I'm just going to remove those stencil pieces. I do have a couple areas that I need to touch up, but other than that, it came out beautifully. I'm so very happy with the results on this, and I FaceTimed my daughter and her husband last night, and they both loved it and can't wait to get it hung up in their new place. I did take a toothbrush and just spritz some of that black speckling, or the black paint on here in a speckling matter, just to kind of tie everything in. You can't really see it unless you're up close to it, but it does really tie it all in. I absolutely love this. I, without a doubt, recommend using Spiral Betty. The website is awesome. It does work. You saw it here, and there's so many other videos using that technique as well. And with that website, I do recommend giving them a donation. Here is our original picture for inspiration, and also our Bible verse of the day. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.